Hi, I'm Lucy Del Piore, Director of School and Library Marketing here at Macmillan Children's, and I'm thrilled to be here with the rest of the School and Library Marketing team to talk about some of our upcoming Fall 2016 favorite titles. First off, for picture books, we have Ansi Ansel. It's Ansel Adams' Life in Nature. It's written by Cindy Jensen Ellison with beautiful collage work by Christy Hale. Now, as you can probably tell, this is a picture book biography about the nature photographist and environmentalist Ansel Adams. As someone who likes to visit the national parks and as a fan of his beautiful black and white photographs, I thought this would be a great book to pick up to read a little bit more about his life, especially his childhood. And I did learn that Ansel was considered antsy, so a traditional school classroom setting did not work for him. But that's okay, because his dad realized that and pulled him out to do some homeschooling with him, which was great because then he also had time to explore the nature of California that surrounded him. This is a beautiful book and a family trip to Yosemite Park, plus his first camera, something that changed his life and changed the world. Ansel's photographs are still found in museums and galleries across the country, and of course in numerous calendars, art books, posters, etc. This is a book and a person that every child should know about, and most kids probably have seen his photos, but they weren't aware of the life behind the man who took all these great photos. There's also some great back matter if you want to do additional research.
I'm Summer Ogata, the Associate Marketing Manager. My picture book title is A Small Thing But Big by Toni Johnston, illustrated by Hadley Hooper. This title opens on a mother and her little girl on a beautiful day in the park, and they're running around enjoying the park and everything is just fine until suddenly the little girl runs by a dog and she freezes. As you can see in this spread right here, one of my favorites. And she's a little unsure about the dog, but slowly but surely, under the guidance of the owner of the dog, a quiet old man, and with her mother never too far away, she learns to pat the dog, then walks near the dog, and finally walks the dog all by herself, which is surely a small thing, but big. One of my favorite things about this book is that it's a book about overcoming fears, but overcoming small fears, because it's not always going to a new school or encountering a bully, but sometimes it's something that's new, even if it's an adorable dog, can be really scary.
Hi, I'm Katie Halata, the Associate Director of School and Library Marketing, and today I'm going to tell you about Tomo Explores the World by Trevor Lai. Tomo is a young boy who lives in a village where everyone is obsessed with fishing. His father and his grandfather are already the best fishermen, and Tomo wants to be good at something else. So he teams up with his best friend Maya to build a boat and to head off and explore the world. Together they go on many adventures and they encounter many wonderful creatures, including the whale from this spread, which is one of my absolute favorite from the books. I love Tomo and I love this book because of his and Maya's sense of adventure and their sense of exploration. And I also love the idea that he wants to break out and do something different than what his father and his grandfather have done and be himself.
Hi, my name is Melissa Croce. I'm the marketing assistant for School and Library Marketing, and I'm going to talk about How to Find a Fox by Nyla McGruber. It's about our young protagonist who wants to track down and photograph an elusive fox. As we all know, foxes can be very sneaky, and this little girl will need to get very creative and think outside the box in order to get her fox, who might be closer than she thinks. This is a super charming book. I really enjoyed it. I read it with a huge smile on my face. The artist and illustrator is also a storyboard artist who's worked for Disney and Pixar, so she really knows how to tell an entertaining tale for adults and kids alike. This is perfect for story time. Kids will laugh. They'll definitely identify with this little girl on her journey, and they'll be rooting for her every step of the way.
Next up, Gertie's Leap to Greatness, a debut middle grade novel by Kate Beasley. We are thrilled to be publishing this debut novel. It has the feel of a classic Tuck Everlasting with a great fun character like Beverly Clearly's Ramona. Fifth grade Gertie is on a mission. She is determined to be the best fifth grader ever. Why, you might ask? Well, Gertie feels that if she is the best fifth grader ever, that'll show her mom, who has moved out now with a new family, that Gertie doesn't need her after all, and that she'll be sorry that she left her. But of course, things go awry when a new girl comes to school, Mary Sue, because Mary Sue has the same mission, to be the best student ever. and Mary Sue has Hollywood connections. Now, how could Gertie top that? Well, our Gertie tries again and again and again. This is really a sweet story with lots of humor and the ups and downs of childhood experiences, of valuing your friends and their dreams, and appreciating the people that are in your lives. We love this book, and we're so happy that Caldecott honoree Jillian Tamaki was able to do the artwork for the cover, and there's some great illustrations throughout. We feel that once you read this book, you're going to love Gertie as much as we do.
My middle grade pick is Finding Perfect by Ellie Swartz. This debut middle grade novel is about a little girl named Molly who has a similar goal to Gertie. She wants to be the best ever so that her mother, who has moved away to Canada, will come back home. She decides the best way to do this is by winning the school's poetry slam contest. This should be easy for her because she loves poetry, but because she feels so helpless and out of control now that her mother is gone, she starts to fall back on old habits, like counting and cleaning and organizing. And these things that used to bring her comfort are starting to control her. With professional help and the support of her family, she eventually learns how to live with her OCD. Ellie Swartz has done a lot of research with medical professionals to make sure that Molly's OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, is accurately portrayed, and I think it really shows in this book. She also does a really good job of integrating it with the life of a real middle schooler, so not only do you learn about her compulsions, but you also get to read some of her poetry, something that I really enjoyed.
The Infinity Year of Avalon James by Dana Middleton. In this book, Avalon and Atticus are best friends. They've just turned 10 and are starting the 5th grade. It's also their Infinity Year. According to Atticus's grandfather, who the two consider to be an authority on all things, an Infinity Year is where two best friends get a special power just for the year that they're 10. While they wait for their powers to kick in, the two have to deal with a whole slew of problems. They're not in the same class for the first time since they've become friends. They're bullies, they're absent fathers, the spelling bee is this year, and there are also some spilled secrets. But what they come to find at the end of the book is that perhaps the most powerful power of all is the power of friendship. This is a really beautiful and enchanting debut. It looks at the possibility of magic, the power of belief, and also just how important friendships really are.
Hi, I'll be talking about Rebel Genius by Michael Dante DiMartino. It tells the story of 12-year-old Giacomo who lives in a Renaissance-inspired world where art is dangerous, magical, and outlawed. When you're an artist, you know because you have a genius, which is a bird-like creature that embodies your creative spirit. So when Giacomo discovers he has a genius, which are outlawed by the government, he knows that he's going to be in big trouble. This is a great, exciting start of a series. It reminded me of His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. Even though DiMartino is a debut author, readers will know him because he was a co-creator of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was an animated Nickelodeon series. So you know that DiMartino knows how to world build and he knows how to draw people in.
Next in Young Adult, we have Heartless by Marissa Meyer, the New York Times bestselling author of the Lunar Chronicles series. Now, Heartless is Marissa's prequel to Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland has always been one of Marissa's favorite childhood stories. She grew up reading this book with her mother. The book is so important to her that actually she had an Alice in Wonderland theme for her bridal shower. In Heartless, we meet Kath, a teen with a sweet tooth who just loves to bake and dreamed of opening a bakery with her best friend. So how does this sweet teen turn into the woman that's credited with the infamous "off with their heads" line? Can Kath change her destiny? Will she marry the King of Hearts? Or will she be able to follow her own heart when she falls in love with Jest, the court jester? This is a riveting, great read with lots of little references to Alice in Wonderland, with some favorite characters thrown in there as well, including, of course, the Mad Hatter, White Rabbit, and Cheshire Cat. This is a riveting, fast read, one that you and your Lunar Chronicle fans will love.
My pick is Last Seen Leaving by Caleb Roehrig. Flynn's girlfriend January has gone missing, and so naturally everybody suspects him. People can also tell that he's hiding something, and so to prove his own innocence, he decides to solve this crime himself. Flynn and January's relationship was a little bit complicated. Not only was January not entirely honest with Flynn, but Flynn was definitely keeping some things from January, specifically who he really is and who he really loves. But Flynn still really wants to know what happened to January, so he will stop at nothing to get this crime solved, even if this results in him staring truth right in the face. Last Seen Leaving impressed me with how action-packed and thrilling it was. When I first started this book, I thought it was going to deal a lot with grief and with guilt, and while it does touch on both of those things, there are so many twists and turns, and it really is a book with a lot of edge.
Jess Chunk and the Road Trip to Infinity by Kristen Clark. At the heart of this story, we have an epic road trip, we have two best friends, and a journey that will change both their lives. Jess is a male-to-female transgender teen who's headed to Chicago with her best friend Chunk to attend the wedding of her father. It's an emotionally charged journey for the two. They're traveling through parts of the country where it's not safe to be different, they're meeting new and unexpected friends along the way, and they're both trying to come to a place where they feel comfortable in their own skin. I'm a huge fan of Kristen's. She's the author of Freak Boy that came out a few years ago. It was an ALA Rainbow Project's top 10 title. It received multiple starred reviews. And Kristen was inspired to write that story and this story for her daughter, who came out as a young adult as a transgender teen as well. Kristen's hoping that through these stories that she can inspire readers to come to a place of acceptance and understanding for all people.
This is Flashfall by debut author Jenny Moyer. It is a dystopian thriller about a world in which most of the population was decimated due to radiation poisoning. 16-year-old Orion is one of the few survivors, and she mines the only element that can prevent radiation sickness. She does so dutifully for her government until she uncovers a dark secret that throws her entire world into chaos. This is a great, gripping, action-packed book for fans of Pierce Brown's Red Rising series. Orion is a great protagonist. She reminded me a lot of Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games series. This book will grip fans, reel them in, and luckily there might be a sequel, so stay tuned.
And again, those are just some of the favorites of the School and Library Marketing Department here at Macmillan Children's. I hope you enjoy them and happy reading.